There has been a great deal of publicity in the newspapers lately about Martin Boreman and whether or not he is alive or dead. Paramount Pictures Corporation is going to produce a motion picture entitled Aftermath, The Fourth Reich. It will be based on a book written by Ladislaus Farago. It will be started, hopefully, in June of 1973 and ready for release in 1974.
What will happen to Martin Boreman? Will he be arrested?
No, sir. No, sir. This is a very important point to clarify. The investigation of Martin Boreman in Germany is not completed. Actually, the investigation of Martin Boreman had been closed on December 13, 1972, inconclusively, to a very large extent, for the failure of the German government, despite its tremendous machinery of intelligence and diplomacy. I beg your pardon? They were not able to get the kind of information I was able to get. And although Mr. Jablon just said that he had no opportunity of authenticating my documents, before I published anything, before I did anything, I sought out on my own the three greatest authorities living on Martin Boreman, and I can divulge the names of these three authorities. One is Dr. Robert M.W. Kempner, who wrote the trial brief in Nuremberg on the basis of which Martin Boreman had been sentenced to death in absentia. Judge Horst von Glasenapp, who is the investigating judge assigned to the Martin Boreman case, and Professor Hugh R. Trevor Roper, whose job was on assignment from the British Secret Service to investigate the case of Martin Boreman. I had a 5-hour session with Professor Trevor Roper, and although I am not authorized to speak for him, I was very satisfied with his conclusion.
But Trevor Roper in his book in '49 said that Boreman had probably died in the ruins of Berlin, quoting
He said that in his book in '49 and changed it in the edition of 1962.
Mr. Farago, now that
Trevor
we're
Roper has
told
already made a statement since your stories saying that it is still his opinion that Martin Boreman is dead.
Who said that, Moeda?
Professor Trevor Roper.
I deny that. That is not true. When?
He said it
When?
about 10 days ago.
He could not have said that. He could not have said that because in the presence of witnesses he told me that he is convinced that he is alive. Moreover, I can reveal something. When I met Professor Trevor Roper, he referred to a deposition which he had made to the German authorities under oath, in which he categorically stated that it is his conviction that Martin Boreman is alive. And he was very surprised when I said, Professor Trevor Roper, I happen to have a copy of that deposition. He himself never read the deposition, but I had a copy of this deposition. And in that deposition, he categorically states that he is convinced that Martin Boreman is alive on the ground of two incidents. One, I am permitted to divulge, the other he has to divulge. One is that a woman named Thalheimer, who was the wife of Martin Boreman's doctor in Munich, met Martin Boreman in 1948 in Bolzano, Italy, and reported the meeting to Professor Trevor Roper. Second, an incident occurred in 1960, the circumstances of which were such as to perfectly convince Professor Trevor Roper that Martin Boreman is alive.